All right, we got NC's Gala versus War God YouTube. And I did have a request on one of my videos to show some high elves. I told that person it'd come out Sunday, seeing as how it's Monday afternoon when I'm recording this. Missed that deadline, so rip. But we'll get some high elf games in here anyway. Alrighty. For the Tomb Kings, we have Nehekara Horsemen on each flank, Necropolis Knights with Halberds, Triple Ushaptis, not Great Bows, just regular melee Ushaptis, then a bunch of Skeleton Spears, and the Kepler Guard. We also have another Skeleton Warrior. Okay, I was wondering if that was a Tomb Guard. We do have a single Necro Sphinx, not the Regiment of Renown, and then Arkhan the Black with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. Okay. Not a standard build from the Tomb Kings. Usually the Tomb Kings focus pretty heavily on their ranged. Now, I know recently-ish the meta's been shifting towards melee Tomb Kings a bit, but still you expect to see at least a Chosen of the Gods, maybe Cetra on his kitty cats. This is a little off-brand, and I have never been a believer in the Necropolis Knights with Halberds. I feel like they've failed me enough times that I just stopped trying them. But yeah, full heavy metal Tomb King's Rush. The other side, for the High Elves, we have Tyrion, who is currently just trying to get the Kepler Guard in his Sunfang. With their weakness to fire damage, you can get a lot of damage out there, and then retreat with Feint and Repose to pop to keep him safe. But the rest of the build, we have the Frostheart Phoenix to provide debuffs for anybody around, and also help Tyrion duel. Then we have a Spearman Frontline, one Sister of Avalorn in the background, an Eagleclaw Bolt Thrower to counterfire against Ushapti Great Bows that are not currently present, so those are going to be pretty sad. Then we do have Silver Helms, yes. 4 Silver Helms backed up by a Life Mage with Earthblood. Okay. Frontline, I mean, it looks like the Tomb Kings would win because they have a lot more infantry than the High Elves, but honestly, High Elf Spearmen can hold back all these Tomb Kings troops just fine. Melee Ushapti also won't do that much damage that quickly, so it could be difficult for the Tomb Kings to get into the back line. Tyrion is fully surrounded, though, by Halberd Knights and by the Necro Sphinx and Ushapti, so he's going to have a hard time moving, and he is going to take a lot of damage, though he does pop some of his defensive buffs every so often to keep himself safe. We do know Feint and Repose is down for a little bit. Silver Helms charge in, and Sister of Avalorn are providing covering fire, so Tyrion's doing a great job of just tanking it up and making sure the Tomb Kings take lots of damage. Front lines have collided. You can see these Ushapti only have 22 melee attack. Even with their 12 bonus for symmetry, that makes 34. Spearmen have a melee defense of 50, so not a lot of good is going to come from the Ushapti there. But Arkhan cheats and sends a Skeleton Warrior summon past the front line to harass Sisters of Avalorn and push them back. Get a little bit of damage out, but also just force them away. The Silver Helms that were used to bail out Tyrion are sacrificed to the Dark Gods. They are dead and gone, as more Nehekara Horsemen try and get set up for the flank. Arkhan Spirit Leeching Tyrion, who did get an Earthblood, but now Arkhan is in trouble as the Frostheart Phoenix and Tyrion and Silver Helms have him surrounded, so he has a hard time getting out of there. You can see if I just highlight which models are which, he is entirely surrounded by red. The green Ushapti are trying to get to him, but having a hard time of it. Front lines are just chilling. Both sides' front lines still have plenty of HP left. Bolt throwers firing away at melee Ushapti, really not getting that much damage out. Yeah, I guess they're doing okay. Silver Helm's beautiful downhill charge on the Nehekara Horsemen. They should easily beat these guys. The heavy cavalry of the High Elves better than the medium cavalry of the Tomb Kings. Arkhan throws another Spirit Leech out onto Tyrion, just trying to tax that HP bar. He knows Tyrion's going to get a lot of healing through both Earthblood and his Heart of Avalorn heal, which he brought, right? Yeah, he has it. So Tyrion's going to heal cap pretty much no matter what you do. Might as well get those Spirit Leeches going. Tomb Kings, instead of beating any of the High Elf Spears, they are just trying to overwhelm them, sending a bunch of Skeleton Spears around the flanks to try and walk past them. It is somewhat working as Silver Helms are forced to uphill charge into Spearmen. Not going to take that much damage on either side, but it is a failed effort from the Silver Helms to keep the Eagleclaw Bolt Thrower online, as now those Skeletons have penetrated the High Elf defenses. And a new Ushapti summon on top of the Sisters of Avalorn as well. Just going to force them back. So the Tomb King's really going to overwhelm the High Elves, not trying to actually beat them. The Kepler Guard do kill one of the Spearmen. We see, I mean, this Spearman's in the middle of all this, and they seem to actually be winning net, because the other Skeleton Spearman is about to die, and they're just fighting a bunch of Ushapti doing fine, so. Yeah, High Elf Infantry, a little outclassed, not outclassed, outclassing their Skeleton counterparts, who are significantly cheaper, to be fair. Tyrion keeps hunting Arkhan. It looks like he is getting occasional shots in, as again the Necropolis Knights and the Necro Sphinx getting a little bit of time with Tyrion. In comes another Sunfang down the Kepler Guard to do more damage to them. Nice little poke there, but it did hit mostly other things. Arkhan takes a big blast of damage as the Silver Helms tear right away. Maybe their mass leaving will allow him to get to safety, as the Necropolis Knights should get in the way of the Frostheart Phoenix and Tyrion. Should. Staff Nagash, a little bit more Winds of Magic recharge, but also decreasing the cooldown on his Skeleton Summon, which is, I'm sure, what he is mostly aiming for. Bolt Thrower crew is actually further away than the flag would indicate. They actually took their bolt throwers with them, but Skeleton Spears are not giving up the chase, so that's pretty good for them. Arkhan is safe for now. The balance power shifts slightly in favor of the Tomb Kings. On the high ground, we have a couple Silver Helms making their last stand. Now, they should not be fighting these Spearmen in extended engagement. I think they need to just finish off these Nekar Horsemen and then flee. Get away from those Spearmen. Don't suffer slow attrition. Frostheart Phoenix, unlike Tyrion, can just fly above all the nonsense and dive onto Arkhan and try and get a little poke here and there as Tyrion is stuck in random spears. But after you got your 1 or 2 shots in, you are now stuck on the ground as Necropolis Knights and the Necrosphinx can get their return damage, and the Frostheart Phoenix needs to waddle away. He should get back up in the sky. He's been safe for a little bit, so there he goes. I imagine Arkhan will be seeing his face soon. Since Arkhan is super low, I think the Frostheart Phoenix is going to keep dive bombing him, trying to get little chunks of damage where he can and maybe get Arkhan to that crumbling. So we'll see if that is the case. Meanwhile, Bolt Thrower crew looks like they're still safe and sound up there. There goes the Frostheart Phoenix, dives onto Arkhan, takes over half of his remaining HP away. He's going to swing again, though it misses this attack. Now Bodyguard Ushabti's try and get in the way. It looks like they were successful, but Tyrion comes running in with a Spirit Leech on top of him. Arkhan is starting to crumble leadership-wise. Yeah, he's crumbling a little bit, losing a bit of HP. The Frostheart Phoenix pushes its way through the crowd, gets another hit onto Arkhan, down to 100 HP, negative 45 leadership. He can't possibly rally at this point. Nope, he is dead and gone. Tomb Kings are leaderless. Being undead, of course, they're not going to rout off the map or anything, but they will crumble a little easier. Bounce power is about 50-50-ish, now going into the favor of the High Elves just slightly. Tyrion's heal cap is in sight. Frostheart Phoenix's is nowhere to be found, and the Necrosphinx is getting a downhill duel with Tyrion, which is probably the best scenario it's going to get. He has 65 melee defense. It only has 29 melee attack, and plus 35 bonus versus large. It is about 65 to 64. Stats-wise, Tyrion does tear out away because he doesn't have immune to psychology, because I don't know. I can't explain that one. Melee Ushabti going to chase down the last of the Sisters of Avalorn. Sisters of Avalorn faster than the Skeleton Spears, but not faster than the constructs of the Ushabti. They aren't getting away from anything. Ugh. Just getting chopped up by those giant swords. The sickles. So Tyrion's gotten to safety for now. He has a big heal proc that'll come soon if he takes any more damage, or he can get slowly healed up by Earthbloods. The Frostheart Phoenix has plenty of HP left, but the rest of the High Elves aren't feeling so good. Claw Bolt Thrower still kiting out the Tomb Kings. I have no idea how these guys are still alive. Every time I've taken a gander at them, they're getting chased by skeletons. And I guess they're almost as fast as the skeletons, but there we go. Classic Ushabti just running in and decking these guys as they did with the Sisters of Avalorn. But speaking of the ones that chase down the Sisters of Avalorn, they are now in deep trouble, as random High Elf cavalry has caught up to them. Also Tyrion's in here somewhere. It looks like everybody's piling back in. Necrosphinx and the Necropolis Knights getting in a fight. Classic High Elves, though, they are taking their Foot Mage of Life to be cheaper and way tankier, so these anti-large combatants aren't able to do that much about it. Keprakar taking another poke from Tyrion. They're still regenerating up. They still have 100 out of 120 models. They're feeling all right, and the Necrosphinx is going to chase the Frostheart Phoenix, trying to get a shot or two more on it before it gets back up into the sky. But he gets distracted by random spearmen, tries to get a downhill charge on them, but it does allow the Frostheart Phoenix to get away uncontested, and Tyrion's also going to fall back. Feint Riposte again popped when he's not in a fight, though, so I have... The 2 times I've actually noticed him pop that is when he's running away, and therefore not getting the stats. Ushabti shattering off some random stuff, trying to shatter the Eagle Bolt Thrower so they can stop chasing it. Sisters of Avalorn are back for the final time. And the Necrosphinx is back in the fight with the Frostheart Phoenix and Tyrion. Bounce power still about 50-50, reaching the 10-minute point. And the Necrosphinx and Necropolis Knights that remain turn to fight the Frostheart Phoenix. But I feel like the Necrosphinx has just been T-posing for a while, and as soon as I say that, he gets an attack off, so good for him. But yeah, He has just been wandering for a bit, then he gets 2 huge hits on the Frostheart Phoenix. Big damage just as the Mage of Life is routing. That is a big win for the Tomb Kings. Huge. Because the Frostheart Phoenix doesn't have any natural healing. Guys, the Mage. Guys, the Mage. Where are we going? Why let the Mage go? I am pissed. Okay, I don't like that at all. Big mistake from the Tomb Kings, as the Mage of Life gets to get away scot-free. We have some Skeleton Spears trying to chase her, but she's significantly faster than them, and there's other spears to peel it off. Ooh, if the Tomb Kings lose that one this game, they're going to want that one back. Because now the Frostheart Phoenix can get some healing. I guess even the spears could get slow, passive healing. Tyrion's going to heal cap without her, so that doesn't really change anything. Eagle Bolt Thrower crews are back, and we also have some AFK Ushabti. A couple late game mistakes coming in from the Tomb Kings. Necropolis Knight Halberds faded away just due to crumbling. Spearmen get rear charged again. But Tyrion and the Frostheart Phoenix going to take a free shot on this Ushabti in the middle of nowhere. The rest of the Tomb King's forces probably have to go over here and clean up these last spears and the Mage of Life again. Because they're not going to get here before this fight is decided. Like, these Ushabti are just going to die. That's a given. Silverhelm's charging in as well. Big Earthblood on all of these expensive targets as the Necrosphinx gets over here. And what really sucks about this is now he's going to have to try and rout the Mage of Life again, which is actually very hard to do because she has relatively high melee defense. But also being a foot character, she spends most of her time on the ground, making it very hard for the Necrosphinx to play. There, he gets a big shot in, which is what he needed. Routs her again. Nice job. And I've spent many games not being able to kill the High Elf Life Mage, so it's very nice. The Necrosphinx got a couple hits on her. Silverhelms get a nice downhill charge. They try and retreat, but the Ushabti mass is going to get in their way. Cleave a couple of them down on their way out. Still a solid charge, and Tyrion's coming in. High Elf's still down to the balance of power. The Mage of Life is just about dead and shattered. And in comes Tyrion, faint and riposte. He takes a big shot anyway, which is actually disastrous for Tyrion. Yeah, he takes 2 hits in a row. Pretty unlucky there with his 86 melee defense. But the Necrosphinx is just hitting him over and over again. I wonder if it got a mini charge bonus or something. High Elves crazy low on the balance of power. Frostheart Phoenix, the only thing keeping them in at this point is everything else is routing. Tyrion is also routing. Faint Repose still active for 1 more second, but his leadership has failed him. Necrosphinx starts to charge in. Tyrion gets his heal. It gets a big cleave onto his backside. He is heal capped and at 1,000 HP. The Necrosphinx is still running him down. Tyrion is faster, so unless it has infinite charge shenanigans, he is going to get away, and it looks like he is going to get away. Life Mage is back for the final time. Like it or not, that thing is going to shatter next time it fights anybody. And another Earthblood for the Frostheart Phoenix. Necrosphinx is T-posing for just a second, then he gets a huge shot on the Frostheart. Tyrion's coming back as well. Necrosphinx pretty far away from home. He does have some support coming soon. He's missed a couple important shots on the Frostheart Phoenix. Now Tyrion gets a rear shot on him, so the Necrosphinx tries to turn and fight Tyrion. Misses its first attack on him. The reinforcements are here. Necrosphinx starting to T-pose a bit as the Ushabti are now in its way, so it should turn and fight the Frostheart Phoenix because it can't get past its own Ushabti. So it's just taking free side shots from the Frostheart Phoenix over and over and over again. The Frostheart is kicking his ass. He turns to fight the Frostheart, then he gets staggered and Tyrion rear charges him, but now the Ushabti are fighting the Frostheart. So now the Frostheart's safe from the Necrosphinx because he's blocked by his own Ushabti again. Separate the targets, man! Have one fight one, have the other fight the other, and Tyrion's going to run away and cycle charge as the Frostheart Phoenix is trying to get out of these Ushabti, trying to get out of the Kepregard as well. The Life Mage is still alive, still casting Earthbloods on the Frostheart Phoenix every so often. And the Spearmen are back. Kepregard should shred them easily enough. Necrosphinx's Terror should also be fine. Frostheart Phoenix gets another charge in. So does Tyrion. Sunfang's probably up soon, so the Kepregard are going to take significant damage as Tyrion's back in. Necrosphinx, you gotta swing, buddy. Down to 2,000 HP. Another Earthblood in onto the Frostheart Phoenix. Necrosphinx hasn't swung in a while. There it swings at Tyrion and gets a big shot in, but a Sunfang down the line. The Kepregard don't dodge that one, so they take huge damage. Tyrion terror routes, but the Necrosphinx misses the next shot at him. Necrosphinx is crazy low. Balance power swings in the favor of the High Elves just for now. The Necrosphinx is crumbling. It's very, very low, as is the Frostheart Phoenix, which it turns towards, gets a couple shots in. One more attack should send the Frostheart Phoenix running away. As Tyrion's going to rear charge Necrosphinx down to 200 HP. It turns, and it does not swing. It dies to Tyrion. Ooh, how did he die? Okay, 1430. I have to see what happened to Tyrion. Okay, so we're gonna get to 1430, but I just need to collect my thoughts here. So there was some like jank a little bit with the Necrosphinx, just like getting staggered over and over again. There was some player error with like putting your own Ushapti in the way so it couldn't get to any targets, and then switching targets too often so it wouldn't like stop and fight somebody. I acknowledge all that, but like there was some jank and some bad luck from the Tomb Kings a little bit, so I guess the will of Nehekara just decided Tyrion must die and the Tomb Kings must win. We are in the desert after all, but I do really want to see what happened to him. So we're at like 1430. Okay. I'll just edit fast forward now that my thoughts are done. All right, so we're getting pretty close. So Big Sun Fang, Tyrion Terror routes, right? Right. 14 minutes, it was at like 1430 he dies. So he has almost 700 HP as he's running away. Okay, so here we go. Tyrion goes back in. 700 HP. Necrosphinx is crumbling and almost dead. Tyrion charges in. Swings his sword down to 600 HP randomly. Necrosphinx dies. The Necrosphinx is dead. I can't even highlight it anymore. Tyrion has 600 HP. Then he takes a blast of nearly 400 damage. Nothing is swinging at him. And then he just dies. And when he dies, the game's over. The High Elves lose. Because without his leadership, the Mage of Life routes, and without her, the Frostheart Phoenix doesn't have enough. Oh yeah, the Frostheart Phoenix is just going to route too. So a game that was like honestly probably won for the High Elves because Tyrion's Sunfang plus cycle charging probably could have killed the Kepler Guard. Well, I guess they have a lot of HP and he didn't, but still. Just Tyrion randomly dying got him. I guess maybe it's like the Necrosphinx's death animation does damage to stuff around it, but 600 damage to a single entity feels like a lot of damage. That's weird. That's wild. I've never seen something like that. That's fucked up. All right. Well, in the post-game stats, Arkhan, the Kepler Guard did well. Some of the Skeleton Spears did pretty well. Both Nehekara Horsemen got shut down. Necropolis Knights with Halberds did pretty darn well. Ushapti did fine. The Necrosphinx did amazing. Though I did just realize that these numbers are inflated a little bit as the High Elves have thrown out a crap ton of healing. For War God, Tyrion did fine. High Elf Spears did their jobs and stayed put. Sister Survivalorn did fine. Silver Helms also did okay. Eagle Bolt Thrower did okay. And the Frostheart Phoenix did well. GG's. Rawr.
Subscribe, yes, yes.